Hello, everyone. This is Hernan Rodriguez, and today we have an entrepreneur show from Vancouver, BC, and I have a very, very special guest today. The name of my guest is Rick Middlemass, and he is a master trainer for the Certified Professional Sales Leadership Program with the National Association of Sales Professionals. How are you doing today, Rick?
Doing great. Happy to be here. Thanks for hosting me.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you here. And we are right now in LinkedIn Live. And later on, I'm going to repost this in other social media platforms such as YouTube and Facebook. And as you know, I love to give value, same as you, to sales leaders. And my area of specialty is life insurance agents and real estate agents. So I'm sure that everyone is going to get a lot of value today. And, since you accepted to be in the show, we like to extend, the invitation to continuous shows. So you have a lot to share with people. So today is going to be more about learning about who is Rick. And before we start with that, I gotta say that I had the pleasure to be trained by Rick. He is a very sharp young man, a professional in his field. And so I'm gonna start with questions, okay, Rick? And then you can at any moment ask me anything or interrupt. I'm pretty cool here. And so the first question is, when and how did you start in the industry?
In the industry of sales, I started.
Or training, actually, I should say training, but you can also let them know about sales too.
I'll do both. So I started out in sales. I was 16. My good friend's older brother started a painting company, right? A college pro painters. And we were getting a group together to go cold calling. Right. I kind of knew what it was there. What are we going to do? We're going to knock on doors. Okay.
Yeah.
So we get out there and we're in the neighborhood and it's like, all right, go knock on the door, offer them a free painting estimate. And that was my first exposure in sales. 16 years old, knocking on doors saying, hey, I noticed your paint is starting to chip a little bit. Are you interested in a free estimate to get your house repainted? So that was my first exposure. And, sales in itself has just been an incredible growth opportunity for me, because otherwise I would never have knocked on a stranger's door and started a conversation, right? Which some great things came from that. And then in terms of training, so out of school, out of Michigan State University, I started selling Cisco hardware systems for a Midwest channel distributor for Cisco. And during in that journey, I guess about 2 years in, I got the opportunity to do some work with Rod, who I'd known for quite a while. Rod owns the National Association of Sales Professionals, and he's a big mentor of mine. And he gave me an opportunity to start selling the NASP programs, right? And then after taking the programs myself, to start being a coach for the programs. So I started doing coaching, selling Cisco from 8 to 5, and then doing coaching calls from 5 to 9ish, and that was my day. So that's how I got started.
Oh, well, that's an interesting way of starting sales, similar to mine. I don't know if through the program I share with you on how I started in sales.
No.
I never told you that.
No.
Okay, so I'll share with you. I arrived to Canada in 1996. So that's about 27 years ago. I'm 49, so I was 21 or 22. And my father brought us over to Canada from Washington State. We flew from Mexico City to Washington State, and so then we rented a car, and he crossed over to the side. He was sponsoring us because he already had a visa into Canada as an investor, But I guess my father was wise because as he brought us to Canada, back then he had a good position in Mexico economically and everything. We were lucky. And so we were thinking, oh, he's just going to buy a house or rent a place for us and, we're going to be set and everything. But no, he gave us $100 each. And the next morning he went back to Mexico and he's like, if you guys want to stay in Canada and, we're going to take the position to immigrate as a family because, he had to sell his properties there and everything. He wanted to see if we could make it. And, until that point, we were quite spoiled when we were young, And again, I'm grateful of course, for everything that they gave us. And we were lucky to be in a position because in Mexico, there is a lot of disparity in economical situation. But we were lucky. So anyway, suddenly it was me and my three brothers with $100 each, and I'm thinking maybe he was thinking it's 50-50. They're gonna call me and send us a ticket back. We changed our mind, but we said let's find some way to make money here. And so we put our money together, the three of us, and we said we don't have too much money to last, with food and a hotel that wasn't that expensive actually to pay for sure. But there was great adult entertainment underneath that hotel, if you know what I mean. We were just renting a place where there was a bunch of stripper ladies renting rooms out of a stripper club back then. So, but there was a Subway close to us, to go and eat cheap. So we said we have about 3 days to find a way to make money. And so we purchased the newspaper back then. It was a Vancouver Sun, I believe. And so we found an advertisement there saying, hey, you want to sell tickets for there was an NBA team here in Vancouver back then. It was called the Grizzlies, Vancouver Grizzlies, but they moved somewhere else. I don't follow the NBA that much. I don't know if they're still around or in which city. But so we were thinking, it's going to be comfortable, just sitting inside the stadium and, selling tickets. And we thought, why not? It was a little bit of a clickbait situation when we went for the interview, but I'm thankful for it because when we arrived, it was an office somewhere else, not where the stadium was. And it was a canvassing operation back in the day. I met a really, really good mentor, and if he's watching, Jamie, how are you doing? He's in California now. He's a rock trainer. And so he was handling an operation for canvassing around Vancouver. And he taught us, how to work the territory correctly and, the law of averages because we had to knock on a bunch of doors and everything. So then after that, I went into insurance and a little bit of telemarketing. Then I went into sales as a sales for hire, like a trainer, a closer, and I'm back in financial services. But that's how it went. I made it a little longer. I'm eating a lot of our time, but that's how I got started. And you were painting houses, so you were also knocking on doors, and knocking on doors is a great start.
It helps. Great way to start.
That's right. I still recommend it to anyone. So that's great. And thank you for sharing.
I call canvassers the modern warriors.
That's right. That's right. But not in every city in North America they let you do it. There is no more canvassing allowed in Vancouver and in most cities of the lower mainland up here. So, you can do something else, but I don't think that straight up canvassing, knocking on doors and selling coupons, I don't think it's allowed. You can still go and knock on doors if you're a realtor, asking if they want to sell their house or whatever. But I guess, we have a different type of loss or stuff, something like that. But I'm thankful for that because I'm also a realtor. So now I want to ask you more specifically, how did you choose your career, but now as a trainer, and what do you like most about this career?
Yeah, I chose this career. I am absolutely fascinated by learning about how the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the unconscious mind work together, right? And then this is a lot of the core of what we teach in our training program is how to better leverage your unconscious mind. And when I found out that the strongest force in human nature is to stay consistent with the identity I hold of myself, right?
Mhm.
And my identity is like my operating system for my computer, and
Mhm.
it is the operating system, the for the unconscious mind, the cybernetic
Mhm.
system that we run on. So
Mhm.
once I learned that, and I found out that the highest leverage thing that I could do would be to grow, to expand my identity. That's, I mean, that's when I was very much hooked in in both taking the training and becoming a trainer of the training. The training walks you through the process of redesigning your unconscious mind, redesigning the unconscious blueprint that basically my life, my influence, my leadership runs on. So that's what led me to really get into this training and really get obsessed with this training to the point where I ended up becoming the trainer.
Well, that's awesome. And you've been doing this for how long now?
Well, I led my first certification training call in 2014.
Mhm.
Yeah, 2014.
Oh
So
wow,
almost 10 years.
really 10 years, huh?
Yeah.
With the same company, same organization.
Yep. With the National
Excellent.
Association of Sales Professionals. Yeah.
That's excellent. So I'm curious, how many people have you trained so far? Have gone through your training?
Um,
Not the company.
about
The company I know is over 1 million people now. Correct?
yeah, yeah. Me personally, probably about 3,000.
3,000. Wow,
Yeah.
that's that's quite a bit of people. You must know a lot of people now in sales for sure. And one of the things that I really like, I like the whole. I don't like it. I love it. Okay, I love the training. I gotta say to everyone that I am hooked for life because once I finish with this certification, I'm gonna do another one, and then I'm gonna go into the sales mastery, and that one can be eternal, correct?
Mhm. You said it can be what?
Eternal,
Oh,
forever.
Eternal? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's yep. We've got the two 45-day certifications, and then Sales Mastery is ongoing and forever because there is no there. There is always a
Mhm.
deeper opportunity to engage, condition, and program my unconscious mind to new levels of success and
Of course.
fulfillment. Yeah.
Of course. So can you let me know a little bit more about the sales mastery? Because right now I am in day 40, 41, I believe, 40 or 41 of the certification that I'm doing as a sales leader. But
Mm.
I want to also go into, or and I should say, and not but I am ESL, English as a second language, so I know you can
Mm.
give me a break with that. But I have to always be conscious on how I use the programming on my own language. So, and I am determined to go into the sales mastery. So that is for what? That is more like for sharpening the skills, or
So here's how I describe it. And I've learned this from Rod, who owns the company and has been my mentor for about 15 years now. So
Mhm.
we back to identity, right? Identity is the strongest force in human nature. I stay consistent to the identity I hold of myself, and identity is built into the unconscious mind, right? And the fascinating thing is, everyone has an identity formed before the age of 12, right? My core beliefs, my core expectations about myself, my life, my identity is created before the age of 12. And, if you're watching this, you're probably maybe 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. If I've never gone in and updated that operating system of my identity, I'm still running on this potentially old identity that was created before the age of 12, right? And maybe consciously I want one thing, and unconsciously I'm programmed to do another thing, and there's this
Fact,
conflict
yeah, conflict.
between the conscious and unconscious mind. So the core idea behind sales mastery is every week to create more alignment between my conscious and unconscious mind so they're moving together. So we go through different categories of life. We recreate or update our vision, our measurables, our identity, our purpose, our short-term results, and look at our role models, who's already achieved my
Of
vision,
course.
right? And how can I unconsciously model and shift my identity to some degree toward what they have, to have created the reality of my vision, and then have a core focus on taking action to build a habit of becoming the next level version of me intentionally. So that's what sales mastery is all about. It's aligning my conscious desires with my unconscious programming and conditioning, knowing that my unconscious programming and conditioning runs 95% of everything I feel, think, and do every day. So that's where the power is. And sales mastery is the system of updating the operating system of my mind.
Excellent. Thank you very much for sharing, because, as we want to reach the next level and the next level, we need to constantly train and create habits and move forward. So it is a great
Yeah.
tool for everyone watching this or and listening, because we'll put it in audio as well, to enter the training that is very, very powerful, that Rick just described. And so, Rick, what motivates you as a trainer, as a master trainer, I should say?
Great question. What motivates me as a, master trainer, is to be more, right? To
Mm,
continually get better and better and better every day. By studying the models that we teach, I am, number one, consistently growing and getting a little bit better. Number two, consistently seeing deeper into my unconscious mind and seeing where am I still running patterns, or do I have beliefs that are holding me back, right? I'm becoming
mhm.
more conscious to my own conditioning so I can update it and increase my results, right? And by being the trainer, by being the person who is presenting the material and hearing, at this point, thousands and thousands of different stories, different individual lives, right, that fit into these same models of influence that we're learning and studying. Ultimately, selfishly, I learn more. I get better. By being the master trainer, I master the material and become more myself and lead by example. And it's a beautiful win-win because I get to help people, and by helping people, I get to improve and become better myself. So that's why I love doing it. It's,
I,
I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is lead a training call, and that really fuels me to then level up myself for the rest of the day.
Excellent. It's for sure very rewarding, and also because you're changing I would say, the participants, the players, as people graduate, is always new
Yeah.
feedback, new challenges, and so forth, correct?
Oh yeah, it's awesome for me. Every other week, there's a new group of people starting the 45-day challenge experience, right? And obviously, you're on week 6 of that experience
Yes.
in the CPSL. So on the one side of things, I get to meet new people every week going through this program because the CPSP one week, the CPSL the other week, and then in sales mastery, I get to go very, very deep with 25, 30 specific high achieving individuals who are just as passionate about their personal and professional growth as I am. So in the certifications, we do, it's like a jump start, right? It's a 45-day sprint, reconditioning sprint. 45 days later, I've transformed certain elements of my identity and habits. Sales mastery, that's the marathon. That's where we're getting to know each other's unconscious programming and conditioning at deeper and deeper levels, and continually updating it and pointing out in each other where we're seeing opportunity for growth, right? And
Hmm.
some of us have been together for years and years and years in the same program. So we know a lot of our unconscious
Hmm.
habits, each other's unconscious habits, better than
Wow.
we know it ourselves, right? So
Hmm.
we start just coaching each other continually,
Oh,
and
that's
every
awesome.
call, everybody's growing, everybody's getting better. And over the months and years, we see people transform completely into a new next level person, both in their beingness, right? Their confidence, their self-esteem, how they're presenting themselves, and also in their results, in their financial results, in their relationship results, in their career results, in their entrepreneurial moving into business ownership results, in their personal relationship, significant other results, in their health, in their vibrancy. It's really incredible to watch.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I already been a witness to this, not for as long as you, of course, in the program. But now that you mentioned the whole feedback and the um, growth that each other you can feed from each other is perfect. That's a collective intelligence that is
Mm-hmm.
really powerful. I love it. We have another question for you here. What
Okay.
new goals do you have, and what do you need to achieve them?
Oh, great question. Great question. Yeah, a couple things come to mind, right? The first thing
Yeah,
that came to mind is, and this is a whole topic in itself,
yeah,
um, the 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 model that I love, and I don't know if I can do a screen share right now, but um, David Hawkins, the author of the book Power versus Force and
yes.
Letting Go and Transcending the Levels of Consciousness, he's one of the kind of the, to my understanding, kind of like the grandfathers of kinesiology testing, in other
Hmm.
words, muscle testing, right? And he's created a map of the levels of consciousness or the levels of emotion, right?
Hmm.
And their different emotions calibrate at different levels, right? All the way at the
Hmm.
bottom, you've got kind of that apathy, that shame, fear, grief, anger, pride, desire, courage, and at the higher levels, you've got this beautiful state, win-win state of abundance, of love, of these higher level emotional states.
Hmm.
And the beautiful thing, and a lot of people say, okay, emotion, yeah, great, I get it. Be happy, cool. How do I
Yes.
measure that? Like, where do I see that? What's the results, Rick? Like, bring me to reality. Okay, the answer that I found for that question is calibrating these levels of consciousness, right? Calibrating my overall emotional state, calibrating my overall level of consciousness, right? That I'm calibrating and that I'm vibrating in, and continually raising that calibration, right? And one of the guys, Jason, on our sales mastery team, he's actually gone through a consciousness calibration workshop, so he's able to calibrate our meetings and
Mm.
different ideas and thoughts. So I'm continually focused. My ultimate goal, what goals do I have? My ultimate goal is to continually raise my level of consciousness for the rest of my life, right? And then more short-term materialistic is to continue to significantly incrementally increase my income, right, every
Of
year
course.
by being more valuable to my clients,
Mm.
by being more creative in my ability to solve people and businesses challenges, to
Hmm.
help people and businesses level up, and also in some of the other businesses that I'm a part of that are a bit more experience driven, is to continually increase the stimulation, the satisfaction of the experience that we're delivering.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing. And
Yeah.
I of course don't know everything about you. We're just meeting outside of the class right now. I didn't know
Hmm.
that you were part of other businesses, but in other interviews, wherever you can share, I'll ask you, and then in private as well, because I'm very curious about other businesses. I imagine you're a consultant, but for some of them. Um, so, Rick, what is the best advice for those who want to learn more to become a professional sales leader?
Yes. Okay. So, um, I gotta ideas. As soon as I get asked a question, ideas are like ding, ding, ding. So I gotta write a
Yeah,
few down just so I remember them.
yeah,
But the the first thought is, how do I become a leader? Right? What is a leader? Most people think a leader is when my title is, you know, leader, manager. When I have people under me, right? Then I'm
yes.
telling what to do. Right? Typically, that's what people think of as a leader. Um, my answer is not to wait until I get the leadership title, not to wait until I'm technically a manager of other people, but rather to always lead from wherever I'm at right now, right? Become a leader now. What does that mean? It means continually raise my standard of delivering on whatever my job is. Continually raise my standard. Be a role model of growth to the people around me. Your people are always watching you, right? People notice when you raise your standard, not because you have to, not because someone demanded that you did, but because you at an identity level have decided I'm going to continually become a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. People notice. Number one. Number two, and this was a big lesson for me, is start shifting my focus from myself. How do I win? How do I make more money? How do I create a great relationship that's fulfilling for me? Right. That's how I started out in life. How do I set myself up? Right. I'm good at that. I don't need to try to think about that. What I'm not naturally good at, and what I do need to try, is to really think and focus about other people. Right. Number one, who's around me? Who's in my company? Who's in my life, my social life, whatever it might be? Who is there, and what's going on in their life? Right? Who are they? And have they decided who they want to become next? Do they have goals? Have they written a vision of themselves, like a story of themselves, results about themselves? 1, 2, 5, 10 years out, right? Do they know clearly who they want to become? Can I support them in leveling up themselves, right? How can I both continually become more myself and empower the people around me to use their minds more effectively? And when I say that, I mean to have more alignment between the conscious and the unconscious mind. Yeah. So that's and that feeds into the other thing I would say is, how do you become a professional at anything? Practice. Professionals are paid to practice. And part of both certification and sales mastery for the National Association of Sales Professionals is our practicum, or practice role play call, which Hernan has been on the last few weeks. And I've done some great practice, and even practiced a few meetings and presentations you had to have before you had them, right? And get feedback on that.
100%. That is extremely, extremely valuable. I really, really recommend it to everyone in sales, but also in sales leadership, which is why I entered into the course. And I know that right now in LinkedIn, we might have a lot of people watching. It's not that I have the biggest audience, but, I have about 4,500 licensed life insurance agents, and also real estate agents across Canada and North America following me on LinkedIn. So in both professions, you need to know how to sell, but those who are leading teams should be looking as well into a professional certification for both. It's incredible. I have over 27 years of sales experience, and I consider myself quite decent at selling and also at training, not only training, but recruiting, life insurance agents and real estate agents. But there is something very special about a certification that is a professional course that is properly outlined, because yes, many different instructors out there with real estate companies and life insurance companies could be very, very incredible at some things, and some might have some certifications like this one, so from other associations, but it's the minority of them I find that really go into a certification. So if it's not the certification by the NASP, go somewhere else that is certified. But for me, for my own experience, this is the course, the program that is giving me the most value, because many things I already learned in my past through these years, but just put them in order, giving you those refreshments. But as we have the live calls, the practicums, and also the calls one-on-one with you, where, you can give me feedback according to where I am at the course, that's completely invaluable. And maybe in the next call, when we have you as a guest, we can go over some of those things that I experienced through the practicum and the mastermind of 10 different people from all different industries, not only in the US and Canada, but I think that we have some people from the Middle East there giving me some also tips and feedback, because we always have to be open to feedback. Otherwise, we're gonna go down in any industry, and hear it from other people that are not in the situation, but watching it from the outside on similar situations is super valuable. The networking that you get and the feedback is incredible. So for closing, Rick, first of all, I want to thank you for your time. That's number one. Second, I just pasted in the bottom on the ticker where you can follow Rick Middlemass on social media. I recommend that you follow Rick. He has great content, and you can communicate with him in LinkedIn. Right there, you can find him as Rick Middlemass, his first name and last name. Same in Instagram. He has great pictures in Instagram where he's also showing the human side, more of having fun and everything, which is great because we have to have, that part of our life in balance. So now I not only know that you work hard, but you also know how to have fun. That's great, And I thank everyone for watching this show today on leadership for entrepreneurs. I will see you the next time. I'm gonna stop the broadcasting, the live streaming, but I will stay with you for a few minutes. And everyone watching on LinkedIn or in YouTube, because this will be in YouTube as well. Remember to share, like, and subscribe. And the QR code that is right here in the middle of the screen that I place through the show today, you can scan it to know more about the certifications and programs. I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, to open an account with the NASP is free, correct? And then they can just join courses, right?
Yeah. If you want to follow that QR code and go to NASP, create a free account, we have a complimentary seller style assessment that can support you in uncovering what's your next area of sales growth. How do you want to shift your seller style behavior to grow and improve? And number two, we also have a free daily program that you can sign up for and get a daily email prompt with a quick 2 to 5 minute exercise in your inbox every morning. You can also then go and log into your account and share with the community how you did that task, that mission for the day, and click done and get your points within NASP for doing that.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm gonna stop the broadcast, but I'll stay here with you for 2 minutes, and see you later, everyone. We'll see you the next time.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
For more awesome content, like and subscribe now.